if we allow children to take permanent actions when they're 10, 12, 14 years old, they will do things that they subsequently greatly regret.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Elon Musk having a conversation with Jordan B. Peterson at a Tesla facility. I'm not quite sure if it's in California or Texas. That doesn't really matter. The conversation here was very important because Elon was speaking about his boy, who is now an adult, 20 years old, Xavier. He says he lost his boy due to the woke mind virus. And to be specific, what happened was his son got put on puberty blockers, and Elon says he was tricked into it. Doctors hit him up talking about, hey, if we don't do this, your boy's going to delete himself, all this, that, and the third, which was a lie, a bold-faced lie, to make Elon basically hand his boy over to the extremists in the LGBTQ. That's what happened here, okay? Look, somebody can be gay, somebody can be confused or whatever. That doesn't mean at 12 years old or however old his boy was when this happened that they should be put on puberty blockers. People are trying to play God, and they're making these permanent decisions that a lot of kids are going to regret once they become adults. I shouldn't have done that. I was confused. I was lost. And now I have this thing I got to deal with for my whole life. All right. Now, before I go any further, let's check out the video. But first, here's a caption about the video. OK. It reads, Xavier Musk was transitioned at Crossroads, a famously super progressive private school in Los Angeles, and where most of the Hollywood elites, actors, and agents send their kids. Jack Black is an alumni. This is where Serafina Affleck, now a trans man called Finn, and J-Lo's non-binary daughter go. Long before it was trendy, Crossroads was forcing kindergartners to choose their own pronouns and announce them in class when they spoke. This place is super effed up. Epstein Island for the low, low price of 70,000 U.S. American cold hard cash dollars a year. Now, before I go any further into it, let's check out the actual clip. I'll try to find the full conversation and link to that in the box, but I'll most certainly have this piece in the box. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
If we allow children to take permanent actions when they're 10, 12, 14 years old, they will do things that they subsequently greatly regret.
Yes, I've interviewed a couple of people who've done exactly that, and it's
right.
Damn painful.
So, so I think you doing.
Why are you willing to make this an issue? Do you think?
I mean, well,
it's sort of like the nameless
issue. It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset. No reliable clinician ever believed that. There was never any evidence for that. And also, if there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety, and not because of the gender dysphoria. And every goddamn clinician knows that too. And they're too cowardly to come out and say it. Right? And so and then we end up in exactly, when I saw that lie start to propagate, it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's like.
Let's pause for a second and part in the freeze frame, but let's pause for a second. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. How can you not speak up in this situation if you are a physician and you see that you're harming children? You know that this is not the right thing to do. You got to speak up. Regardless of the LGBT people coming at you, it doesn't matter. Extremists are always going to have these radical opinions. That doesn't mean you have to play into it. You got to do what's right for the actual patient in front of you. You should know as a physician that sterilization drugs in the 10-year-old is not okay. But I digress.
And it's like, I see. So you're telling parents that unless they agree to this radical transformation that their children are going to die, and you think that's moral, and you think that's true. That is so pathological that it's almost incomprehensible. I can't imagine anything worse. I can't imagine a therapist doing anything worse than that, or sitting by idly and remaining silent while his colleagues are doing it. It's pathetic.
It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
It won't stop till that happens.
Yeah, they got to go. I mean, just make the stuff unlawful. There needs to be legislation passed that says, hey, you know what? We shouldn't be giving puberty blockers, aka sterilization drugs, to children. If you want to do something with your body, like I said when I was on Jubilee some years ago, ironically enough, in California, when I was on Jubilee and the whole thing about Dwayne Wade's son, who now identifies as a girl, came up, I'm like, look, they allow him to transition or start identifying as this at 12 years old. Now, I don't know if he was put on any kind of drugs or whatever, but we do know that some people, including Elon Musk, their kids are being put on drugs. And it's not okay. As I was saying when I was on Jubilee, if you want to do something like that to yourself, do it when you get to be an adult. You want to get a tattoo, wait to be an adult. You want to smoke cigarettes, wait to be an adult. You want to drink beer, wait to be an adult. You want to drive a vehicle, wait till you get to be 16 at least, and have your parents be there with you and take a test and get a license and do all these things. It shouldn't be easy for a 12-year-old to go into a doctor and say, hey, you know what? I identify as a boy, I identify as a girl, although I'm not. Put me on drugs and mess my life up for the rest of my life. You want to do that to yourself at 18 years old, then go ahead. Not as a child.
Yeah.
It'll just go underground. Puberty blockers are being accessed online by kids all the time through non-medical channels. So yeah,
Right.
It's not going to stop. Yeah. Okay, so I see. So that's
So I was
personal connection.
tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
I mean, this is rough, man, because Elon, you can kind of, I know I feel it. I feel like this is a father who is just completely broken that his son has become this. And it wasn't totally his son's fault because he's a child. There shouldn't have been any kind of ability for this to happen. It shouldn't have been legal. It should not be legal right now. So he's just sitting here pondering, like, what do I do now? My son is dead. Although he's not dead, he is dead.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw.
Yeah.
All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing like a dedicated father. That could have been the reason why you spent, what was that, $40 billion with a $40 billion or however kind of big money. That's probably the reason why you spent that on Twitter, because he could see this as a way to combat the woke mind virus. Because social media, the internet in general, but definitely social media, they push a lot of the LGBTQ stuff. And then when kids go to school, it gets pushed further. And then television and movies and music, it's all kind of promoting it. So if he can do his part to fight against the woke mind virus, then hats off to him. Maybe he could save one boy, one girl, or maybe a bunch of more boys and girls from going the same direction that his boy went down. So yeah, I salute you, Elon, man. I know that's rough to do with something like that. I don't have any children, but I can imagine just how bad that is. You know, I got nieces, nephews, and cousins that I done seen grow up, and you want the best for them all the time. But I can only just imagine how you feel as a father. I can't really feel how you feel because I'm not a father. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson for having a really important conversation. I never thought I would see the day where we would have transgender children. Like, what is that all about? I understand why people are trying to do it, but I don't understand why it's being allowed. It's happening because you got people that want to groom your children from a young age into the LGBT lifestyle. That's why it's happening. It shouldn't be happening, though, because we, as people that are sane and want to protect children, should be able to see this and say, you know what? Nah, we're not going to go down that road. We're not going to allow that to happen. Adults want to do adult things, then go ahead. You want to be an adult and go to a drag show? Go ahead. You want to be an adult and chop off your stuff or add on some stuff? Go ahead, man. It's your life. Live it. You're an American. You have the right to do that to yourself. But leave the children out of it. I don't think that's too much to ask. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what Elon said here about the woke mind virus? Do you agree, disagree, whatever your thoughts are? Let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I agree with him 100%. The woke mind virus is real. It is a problem. And if we don't do certain things to combat against this right now, it's going to be a persistent issue in the future. And it's going to get to the point where it's just part of society and you can't really stop it. So, hey, just try to do your best to nip it right now before it just completely snowballs out of control. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.